Hi, this is JD Solomon with Communicating with Finesse. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of sharing your reports and presentations up front with senior management and your decision makers. Now, by definition, decision makers must allocate resources, and they've got many projects and initiatives to allocate those resources across. So time for them is of the essence. One of the first steps of the decision maker is to try to sort through the 80% of the projects that can quickly be moved along without much additional information, and then which 20% need more information. So what we see the problem being out there with technical professionals is we tend to not want to share it for one of two reasons. Usually we feel like somehow we will be prematurely criticized by our work if we give it in advance, or two, somehow we may be diminished and not needed in the presentation. And the answer to both of those is that's simply not true. So we'll look at the fishbone diagram, the finesse fishbone diagram, and talk a little bit about how the three bottom fins really make the point and show the benefit of sharing the information up front. So the first point lies in the first E in finesse, which is empathy, which, as we mentioned previously, those decision makers have a lot of information to process. Your role, by putting yourself in their shoes, will be to appreciate just how many decisions they have to make. And by providing that information up front, it helps them to clarify in advance and to make sure they ask you the right questions when it's time to review your work. Two is structure, the first S in finesse. And in finesse structure, we talk a lot about how the report should appeal to people, decision makers, who may have hearing impairments, visual impairments, may not speak the same language as you do, or maybe even in some cases have some form of learning impairment. And so by providing the information up front, you give those decision makers the opportunity of seeing the information in advance and to absorb it at their own pace, at their own rate, with the assistive devices if they need to, so that they're sharper when it comes time to discuss the information with you. And finally, the third is synergy, and that's the second S in finesse. And in synergy, what we recognize as technical professionals, we deal with problems with a lot of complexity and uncertainty. Individuals typically don't make those decisions, groups do. And so by sharing that information up front, you show the respect to the senior management and your decision maker that you know that there's an inner circle that'll have to weigh in, and that you don't want to put them in a bad spot by having to make some type of position statement or some kind of opinion on the fly the first time they see the information. So all three of these are good reasons to share the information up front. So today, the big takeaway is share the information up front, all your reports, all your presentations. Believe me, when you do that, you will get asked to come back more and speak more often, and eventually your role will be elevated more and more to a decision maker yourself. Thank you.